Hey guys! In today's video, we're going to talk about the most profitable niches in 2022. Finding the right niche is probably the most important thing before you get started to make sure you absolutely crush it with your agency. So if you choose the wrong niche, you'll end up wasting tons of time and ultimately will never be able to scale. What you want is to make sure you find a niche where you truly understand the issues that people faces inside that niche so you can craft the ultimate offer, and when you do send your outreach or when you do build your partnerships, then it'll become so much easier because your offer a solution to the problem that they face. And that is the true key to scaling your agency past 6 figures. All right, so now there are a few things you need to know before getting into a niche or even thinking of potentially changing the niche that you're in. So the first thing you really need to do is you need to go super deep inside the niche that you want to enter and truly understand how it all works. It sounds like a given, but you'd be surprised. I speak to really thousands of agency owners and so many of them haven't even done that steps. And if you haven't done this, there is literally no way you can build a profitable and sustainable agency. Because what you need is to go deep into a niche, understand not only the issue that they face, but also the buying cycle. You know, how complicated is it for clients in that niche to be able to purchase that product? And so, for example, e-com store, fairly easy. You just go in, the buying cycle is really short. Whereas other niches, you know, the buying cycle might be way more complicated. So you want to understand what the owner of the businesses face, but also you understand the customers inside that niche. And that is the first step that you need to do before even going deep into the niche. Okay, so you need to understand the niche, so you can identify what issue that niche faces, so you can then build a solution to the problem that they actually face, and that is how you're going to craft the ultimate offer. Here are the 4 things you need to consider when looking at a niche. First, you need to look at the margins. Do they have enough money to pay for your services? That's number 1. Is there a clear issue that a niche faces? Then you need to find a niche with a simple buying cycle. And of course, if you're more advanced, you can start looking at niches where buying cycles are more complicated. And then lastly, you need to understand where to find people in that niche. Because it's so good and well to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and target this kind of thing. But then if you actually don't know where to find, you know, business owners in that space, well, then you really make it way more complicated for yourself. So as you guys know, we have thousands of agencies using our software. So we get tons and tons of data points to understand what kind of niches are working really, really well now, both from a profitability standpoint and also from a simplicity standpoint. So in today's video, I'm just going to show you a bunch of really cool niches that I feel are a bit underrated and you can absolutely use to crush it in 2022. And so what we've done is we looked at all of the agencies that are making more than 6 figures, you know, a month, and kind of really figure out what sort of services that are they offering and in what niche are they playing. And the reason why I'm making this video is I want you guys to just broaden your horizon. I want you to think outside the box, because simpler niche means, you know, less barrier to entry, which means anyone can get into, and therefore you're going to face way more competition. So that's one of the things you really want to understand. You don't want to do the same as everyone else, and you know, you really got to be self-aware about this. You need to look at the market, figure out what everyone is offering, and figure out little pockets that you can find opportunities in and really get in and start dominating that specific space. Because you just don't want to have a boring offer. I see times and times again, people come in with like the same old offer, really boring stuff, and they send thousands of emails and just don't understand why they're not getting the kind of reply or the kind of response rate that they should be getting. And it's just normal. If people have been receiving the same type of salesy emails about the same offer in the same niche over and over, you're just not going to cut through. So honestly, spending time finding the right niche for you, and this is where you've got to start thinking, you know, you might want to look at what you've done in the past, see if there's stuff you can kind of take and use to your advantage, because that will make your life so much easier. Offering the right service to the right niche makes everything simpler. When you send the emails or when you build your partnerships, people really understand why you're doing it. People really understand, you know, like how you're going to go about getting results for them. All of that will make your life 10 times easier. And if your goal is to scale as hard as possible, that really is the main thing you should focus on, is go deep, deep, deep into one niche, truly understand the issue that they have and build an amazing offer inside this niche. And also, don't be afraid to think outside the box and go and tackle exciting, different type of niches that not everyone is going after. Because as I've just said, you don't want to just do the same old boring thing. So if you do a simple, you know, Google search or even look on YouTube, most people are talking about local lead gen, simple e-commerce agencies, social media management. All of these are absolutely valid, but people have been doing that for such a long time, and most e-com brands and most local businesses have been received ton and ton of emails offering the same thing. So that's not what you want to focus on. You want to find something that's exciting and different. After surveying thousands of agencies that are making over 6 figures a month, here are the best niches to focus on to absolutely crush it in 2022. SaaS agencies, crypto and NFT agencies, and podcast agencies. There are, of course, a ton of other niches, specifically the ones with really high margins like info product and e-commerce that people have been crushing it in 2022. But in this video, we're just going to focus on those three because they're the ones that are way less competitive and you can crush it much faster. So as I said earlier, the first thing you want to do when looking at a niche, you want to make sure that they have enough money to pay your services. For SaaS companies, it's super easy because most of them, as soon as they raise money, the first thing they do is they allocate the vast majority of the budget to marketing. And of course, then you could be that person to really make sure that they allocate the budget as efficiently as possible. So from a margin standpoint and from a budget standpoint, that's not an issue, you can go for it. We all know that even if the crypto markets aren't really in a good space right now, so much money has been brought into the space that there's tons of products being worked on, and of course a lot of those guys have a ton of money to pay for various kind of services, you know, whether it's marketing, whether it's, you know, help with community, all of this stuff. So again, from a margin standpoint and a budget standpoint, they absolutely have the money to pay you. And last but not least, I really wanted to talk about a different type of agency because we looked at all of the guys, and of course most of them are doing similar things, but I was looking for people that they really thought outside the box and came up with the ideas that are a bit different, where again, you can absolutely crush it. Again, when you look at podcast agencies, the budget is rarely an issue because most of the guys starting a podcast, they actually have their own company on the side, or it's on the back of a software or the back of another company. And so they really have the budget to dedicate to growing that podcast and making sure it's as good as possible and repurposing all the content across the internet. Okay, so now let's look into each of those three niches and how we would craft the perfect offer. So again, when you look at software, there's a bunch of different services that you can offer. Starting with the simplest, social media and content creation. Of course, software companies tend to, you know, be maybe a bit more like techie and all of that. So, but if you have the ability to really translate what they're trying to do across all of social media, that'll be a massive thing for them, both from just an exposure standpoint, but also from really establishing their presence online. And that will then be what will allow them to, you know, build partnership and, you know, work with influencers and do all of this stuff. Like, this is a clear service that you can offer on a monthly basis without any question, and you can charge anything between $2,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 by just doing that, because you can do, of course, the social media side of things, which, you know, for software might be more long form on LinkedIn, you know, YouTube videos, Instagram posts. Of course, now, as always, TikTok is absolutely crushing it. So coming up with the idea that it could do on TikTok, that will have just so much value. And of course, just unlimited written content really helps the SEO side of things. Then of course, a massive thing is email automations. All SaaS businesses, they kind of need so many different flows within the company, you know, things like onboarding email sequences, product adoption sequence, or even churn reducing flows. So that is more like the inward kind of thing. And then of course, you can also offer you more email marketing to kind of just get more and more users. So again, this is absolutely a service that you can charge, you know, anywhere from 3 to even 10,000. Then of course, another thing that SaaS companies really need is everything related to support, you know, like creating a really nice set of support videos. This could be a service that you offer, fairly niche, but it's a service that every single company is what they need. So you can come in and be like, yep, this is a service we do. We look at your entire software, we kind of look at your FAQs, all of that, and then we go and create videos for your support channel, whether it's on YouTube, again, the help centers. And then of course, also another thing that you can offer is just community building. So, you know, for example, for us at AgenciFlow, we've got a really big Discord where we interact with our team and we interact with our users, and we have, like, you know, weekly Ask Me Anything and this kind of thing. So this is a service in itself that you could absolutely offer to software companies. So again, this is like the type of service that you can offer on a monthly basis, both the setup, but also building out the timeline and the calendar of the type of content you're going to do to really engage that community. And this is, again, a service you can offer all day long. And the good thing with this is you're a bit less reliant on, you know, advertising platforms and stuff. This is more like, you know, you go in, understand what kind of customer support needs they need, and then go and create those videos, go and create the Discord and interact with, you know, the community there, and maybe even find them virtual assistants to do all of this stuff. And this is an absolute service that they'll need. It's a certainty. So this is a clear issue, and you come and solve that very clear issue for them. And then of course, lastly, you can always offer growth services. So, you know, paid ads, affiliate marketing, any of this kind of thing. So this is something that for pretty much most businesses, if you truly understand the buying cycle of the customers in that niche, then you can go in and really truly offer an awesome growth plan. And so for me, what I like and what I've been doing for my agencies is kind of look at all of that holistically, because it depends what what type of businesses you help, but if you help, small to medium type of businesses, often those guys don't really have the budget to go and have like 20 different retainers, for one for email marketing, one for content agency, one for growth, etc. So I kind of almost package all of this up with a mix of done for you and done with you. So what you can do, for example, for SaaS businesses, you can start by having a 6-month plan where you start with like online optimization, you clear up all the social media, you make sure you build out all of the automation, then you also work on the community, so set up the Discords, all of that, then have a team that comes in, start building out all of those support videos, and then you now have all the content that's coming out every single month. Then it's now time to make sure you've got all the content ready, and then you can go on to the growth phase where you can absolutely crush it with ads, affiliate marketing, and off you go. And so that you do all of that, you can really clearly have base retainer, again, 3,000 to 5,000 all day long, plus a revenue share or a profit share of like how much money you generate for them. And this is how you can easily get to the 10K a month retainers. That's why I think SaaS is an amazing niche to play in, because the guys have a ton of money, there's a ton of services you can offer, and again, there's just so many that come out every single month and every single year, and the buying cycle is fairly simple depending on the software. But again, generally people can see an ad or can see a thing and just go and directly sign up for free trial or for just pay right then and there, which makes it simpler because you can easily attribute the sales to the efforts that you guys do. So that's that. SaaS, I think it's super underrated, and you guys can absolutely go and crush it in that space. Okay, now we can look at NFT and crypto agencies. So of course, over the past year, people have done some crazy numbers in that space. Of course, the market is slightly softer at the moment, but that doesn't mean, like it's gonna be like that forever. The first thing to understand is so much of the tech talent has moved from traditional tech all the way to Web3. So when, all of the top tier talent moves from one industry to the other, for me, it's a clear indication that things are going in this direction. So even though now it might not seem as exciting, and actually this is the perfect time to go, because most people are kind of exiting the space just for the next few months and stuff, because they're a little bit worried about what's happening, and this is a perfect opportunity to come in and again look at all the different services you can offer for crypto and NFT companies. Simple services you can offer for them is community management and Discord creation. We all know that, for NFT and crypto and Web3 in general, Discord and community building is a massive, massive part of it. And of course, this is not an easy thing to do. So you could absolutely specialize in Discord creation, making sure you create like all the different channels, you really understand the security aspect of Discord, and you build like all of the content that again is going to be posted on the different days of the week to make sure that the community is really nice and engaged, and just kind of like, again, get a team of VA to come in and do the community management. So this is a service you can offer all day long to crypto and NFT company on a monthly basis with a quality retainer for sure. Then of course, social media and content creation. That's something that pretty much all of company need, specifically crypto and NFTs. They'll need like a ton of stuff on, Twitter, on Reddit. Again, it needs to really look clean on, TikTok, trying to get as many people to talk about it. So again, this is something that you can do at all times. And I think that doing more and more content, even written content, could do really well, because those guys need this, that then can be repurposed into tweets, again, LinkedIn articles, Medium posts, whatever they actually do to grow. And of course, as I said, you can always look at growth. For example, it's paid ads, Reddit, a bunch of different platforms. I like crypto ads now. And of course, massive thing is affiliate marketing for crypto, working with finding the right influencers to collaborate with. This is an absolutely killer service if you can find ways to do this. And the absolute bonus with crypto and NFT is once you kind of reach that nice, comfortable, monthly retainer with like real money or whatever currency you kind of charge, whether it's USD, Euro, Australian dollars, pounds, whatever it may be. Once you're kind of comfortable there, you can be okay, cool. Now, 1 out of 5 project, I'm happy to take a bit of a bet and get paid in a project coin or token or NFT. And so this is why we've seen some ridiculous deals where some people were earning like upwards of like 100 to 200K in a single month from a single project. And so this is kind of that space. Even though now it feels a little software, it's really time to truly understand the inner workings, how it works, and literally now for the next kind of 10 years, that will be a space that's going to be super interesting to look at. So yeah, I think that's a super interesting space to play in. And the last one I want to cover today is podcast agencies. And the reason why I want to do that is I really want to show you guys that you can think up outside the box and do some crazy numbers. You know, we've all seen over the last few years, specifically since 2020, the kind of massive growth that podcasts have had, you know, with the crazy deals from like Joe Rogan, you know, Call Her Daddy, all of those like, you know, multi 8 and 9 figure deals with Spotify, that again, more and more people decided to go into podcasting because of course it's an amazing medium to connect with your community. There's not a lot of places where you can listen to people like, you know, directly listen to your voice for an hour with almost no distraction. So many people have gone into that space, and when so many people go into a space, that's a clear indication that you can come in, find a clear issue that people inside the niche have, and come and offer a crazy service that can absolutely crush it. So as I said, for podcasts, a lot of people that actually start have, you know, other projects going on, like other companies, or it's on the back of like a SaaS, or it's on the back of an info product company, etc. So those guys tend to be like super time poor. And so, you know, like of course, when you first get started, you might not really know how to edit a podcast, you might not know how to distribute those podcasts across all the different podcasting network, you know, how to chop it up, how to do all of this stuff. So this is really where you guys can come in and offer a super clean service where you edit the podcast for them, you know, write the podcast description, add the link, insert the ads, all of this stuff. You can offer that as a service where, you know, you determine how many episodes they want to do per month, and you go in and edit it all, you know, take it. Then you can even go one step further. If the podcast is filmed, you can turn that into YouTube videos, turn that into, you know, Instagram Reels, TikTok clips, you know, post that on YouTube Shorts, all of that. And so essentially from the top piece of content, cut it down, you know, transcribe it to kind of make it like turn it into a blog post that can go on the website, increase the SEO, can go on LinkedIn, get discoverability, do this essentially this massive repurposing of this one big piece of content. And that is where the true opportunity lies. Like, you know, you come in and you say, yep, okay, it costs you like $3,500 or $4,000 a month. I take care of all of that. All you've got to do is interview either your guests or just do the podcast yourself, and then I'll take care of everything else. And, you know, like from literally one episode, you can turn that into so many pieces of content, which of course in today's world is super valuable if they don't have to spend all this time doing that. So this is what I really wanted to show you guys, that again, you can think of an industry that's growing and look at it and be like, okay, cool, what service can I offer to absolutely crush it? And literally now we've got a number of podcast agencies within our network that's doing super crazy numbers. And so, you know, I think it's awesome. Very easy to set up the processes, get virtual assistants to help you, find editors, you know, all around the world. So you can kind of almost like run a 24-hour shift. You can do some crazy stuff there. Another thing that you can always offer for podcasts as well is a lot of podcasts make money through sponsorships and ads inside the podcast. And so you could even be the person that goes and brokers those deals, like, you know, go and find deals with like Wix and Squarespace and Athletic Greens and all of those like companies that are advertising like crazy. That could be a service in itself. You could literally just be a podcast ad agency. That we hear that all day long. And so this is super valuable because those guys are getting crazy deals. And so again, this is very much where you can take 20% of the amount of money that they make or something like that. So again, if a podcast is making, you know, $500,000 a year or whatever, again, that's a $100K ticket that you guys can get. So that's what you can do. And as always, you can craft the offer to be like a way more holistic approach where, again, you do the editing, you do all of the repurposing the content online. You can even do the content planning for what's going to go inside each of the podcasts, maybe do the script writing for them. Then you can broker the deals for the ad spot, and then you can help them get like better guests, etc. And so then that's a service where you can, you know, absolutely take a massive cut of the amount of money that those guys generate. So this is how you easily get to, you know, $100K a month by having a bunch of clients where you can do this, and you stack up those retainers. You start, you know, $2,000-3,000 a month, but since you start getting more and more, and you know, you broker one advertising spot for this, another one for this other one, etc., it just goes really quick. So I was really happy to see that a bunch of people were getting crazy numbers. And so I wanted to tell you, because this for me is a perfect example of like thinking a bit outside the box and slightly even more niche than traditional like lead gen and e-com agency. So to wrap up, find a clear niche with a clear problem where you can find a really good solution to kind of solve all of that, and then find a way to get part of the upside. So you can get those 5K, 10K, and even 40, 50K a month retainers. This is how you're absolutely going to crush it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and can't wait to see you in the next one.